it's me, Molly, again. Today we're going to talk about Animals 2x2 investigation on goldfish and guppies. Here's a list of the Boston Public Schools student learning outcomes for this investigation. Students will focus on learning how to observe and record or discuss the information they obtain on those observations. They will also spend some time looking at animal behavior and comparing one animal to another. The two practices that stand out to me in this investigation are Practice 2, developing and using models, and Practice 8, obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. Students will, in a sense, be creating their own model of an ecosystem by building an aquarium. They will also discuss and draw the parts of a fish. Finally, students will create a paper aquarium that will model the aquarium in the classroom. In Practice 8, students will be reading a couple of books, including the Animals 2x2 book, to learn more about fish. They will then observe the fish and evaluate information they read and compare it to their real-world experiences. Here's a brief overview of how to set up your aquarium. Some people like to set up their aquarium before the students are in the class. I usually set it up with the students. Either way, the first thing that you're going to need to know is that you'll need 2 to 3 aquariums total. One aquarium is going to be for the goldfish, and you'll have either 1 or 2 for the guppies. Please, please, please set up the aquarium at least 24 hours before you use them for fish. It will take at least that amount of time for the water to be safe for the fish. To set up each aquarium, you will first want to rinse out your gravel, which is provided in your kit. Then you'll lay a layer of the gravel about 1 inch thick at the bottom of the aquarium. After that, you'll fill the aquarium about 3/4 of the way full of water, and use the water conditioner as directed. Then wait 24 hours. You can then add your Alodia or any other aquatic plant that you choose to use, and finally your goldfish. Goldfish and guppies will have their own tanks, as they do not always get along in the same one. Some people will separate their male and female guppies into different tanks as well. This is because the guppies will breed quickly, and while this can be very fun and exciting, many people do not want to try to find a home for 100 guppies at the end of this unit. I'll leave that decision up to you. Carolina and Connecticut Valley will send the males and females separately, but if you get them mixed up and you're wondering which is which, the guppies with the colorful tails, like the one on the slide here, are the males. It's important that you clean and change half of the water in your tank on a regular basis. Please keep a supply of clean water that's conditioned on hand for water changes or in case of an emergency. They do happen in kindergarten. Once you introduce the snails into your tanks, you will notice that they'll stay cleaner for longer. In these investigations, students will be getting an up-close experience with the fish in your classroom. One tool that is recommended for use is a hand lens. It is important to remember that this is the first time a student might be using this kind of tool, so please show them that in order to properly use a hand lens, a scientist places the lens close to the object that they are trying to see, and not in their eye. Students will have a chance to spend some time with a guppy or goldfish at their table in a cup. Please place the cups near the center of the table. These fish can jump, even out of a cup. So, if they're on the edge of the table, it will cause for a very difficult rescue. Since these observations can get kind of messy and wet, I also have the students observe first and then record their observations in their notebooks afterwards. You can even set up an observation station and a recording station to keep things moving. Since students are just starting to draw and label at the beginning of kindergarten, I like to do the structure of a goldfish as a whole class with a shared writing poster. I might write the words or labels and have students place the labels in lines on the poster of a fish. Or I might have them come up with the first letters of each label. Then the diagram can stay up in the classroom for the students to reference as they start to do their work more independently in their science journals. A lot of people might be wondering what happens next when you're done with this unit and you don't necessarily need to be observing these fish anymore. There's a couple of options. One, the one that I recommend, is keeping the fish in the classroom. I've ended up just getting a tank with a filter so that I can reuse the same fish year after year. Another option could be sharing them with another classroom. So maybe you want to give them to first grade classroom down the hall. Another option, which I don't really recommend, but sometimes you have to do it, is euthanasia or euthanization. And what they recommend is putting the fish in a freezer because they claim that's the most humane way. But the choice is up to you. But I strongly recommend just keeping them around for a while. Here's some additional resources and books. One really great resource is the New England Aquarium. You can look at live webcams from the aquarium website and research all kinds of different fish, or even sign up for a free field trip for your school. They also have a huge teacher resource center where you can check out additional kits free of charge if you want to further your class's investigations on aquatic life. There are also many children's books written about fish. A Fish Out of Water, which is included in your kit, is one of my favorites to read with the K2 students because it brings up some pretty interesting conversations. And that's all I have for you for goldfish and guppies.